All right, boys and girls, what do we have here? Well, this is, if I'm to believe the label right, a little bit of a last-minute pre-shot show peek from Modular Driven Technologies. So let's bust into it. And as you can see, this is straight from Canada. I am unpacking it now. So I'm not even entirely sure what this looks like. Seen the pictures? But this is a first hands-on packing material. We got a Picatinny rail. We got a bundle here. That looks like a magazine. And maybe another magazine on this side. Maybe. Yep, another magazine. Some look like action bolts. I have to get the pocket knife back out for this. Oh, we can just peel some of this off. They did a really good job of taping this up. We're just going to set the knife down here because for some reason I think we're going to end up using it again. Oh, we've got a scope rail. Put that down with its assorted screws. A Forend tube. Put that down. More packing material, more packing material. This definitely was in no danger of getting scratched up en route here. Now, I was going to make you guys wait until we have actually got some trigger time with this, but I figured you'd like to see the actual unboxing. So, we'll get through cutting all this packing and see what all we have here. This looks like a different Forend tube. So MDT sent us several of their Forend tube variants. I'm going to have a pile of packing material here when I'm done. At least they weren't peanuts, because you know those packing peanuts are absolutely horrific. It looks like the chassis color they sent us is a FDE, a flat dark earth, or a khaki color, which is really nice. Oh, and here is our main piece. There we go. All right, let me take a minute here and make sure that we haven't missed anything in the box. Nope. So let's get this out of the way so we can actually see what we have here. Okay, and like I said, this is really my first look at this. We just took it out of the box, as you can see, and I haven't even got a chance to sit down with MDT and go over all the different pieces and features. So this is kind of a treat for you guys. You're seeing it kind of firsthand, just like I am. Now, what we have here is the base section for the MDT ESS chassis. Now, this one is a short-action Remington, and we will have information down in the description on which different platforms this is available for right now. This guy should be available soon for you guys. Looking at it overall, this looks like an evolution of kind of the LSS design. Now, what we have here is 3 different rail sections, and I have been told there is going to be a carbon fiber rail coming soon. I'm not going to take the time here on the video right now to put each one of these rail sections on for you, but it looks like we have a pretty cool selection of them. We've got the regular full tube rail, and this bolts down into here like you would see on most chassis systems. Then we have a short rail. So it's open throughout the top for most of it, and you just have that short rail section on the end. Now this is great if you want to minimize weight, but you still want to be able to run a clip-on night vision device. And then we have this really minimalist rail section that just encloses the outside of it. So if you have some device you want to bolt on there, and I believe these are going to be M-LOK compatible, but I will verify that. So we've got 3 different options here, and I believe when you order this you will be able to select one of the 3 options. We just have the various ones to be able to show you. Now this looks to be an evolution of their skeleton stock system. It's really cool. They seem to have pared it down to the bare minimum to be able to use with this chassis. You still do have your thumb wheel adjustments, and MDT makes these locking thumb wheel adjustments. So you do have bolts here and here that once you get it set to where you want, you tighten the bolts, and it's a pinch bolt type deal, and that will lock it down. And the butt pad is height adjustable. I can see there's a dovetail right there. So you have length of pull and butt pad height adjustment. They have a Hogue grip on here with the duckbill. I'm usually not a fan of Hogue grips, but this one is a little bit different. It's not the regular Hogue A2 grip. So you've got the little duckbill to push your hand down and back just a little bit, and you get a little bit of a palm swell here and no finger grooves. That's the big thing I dislike about the Hogues, is the finger grooves. The magazine release is a really cool contoured design, and both the polymer mags they sent me are 308 magazines. I won't really comment a lot on these magazines because we've had issues in the past. I want to actually load these up and try them before we comment on them. In the past, if we load 9 rounds in the magazines, they were good to go. I'll see if they have fixed that on this one. Magazines slide in just fine, and they are drop free. But this ambidextrous mag release, as you can see here, I can, if I was in a shooting position, I can get it with my trigger finger, no problem. Or of course you can come up and you can hit it with your support side thumb and extract the magazine in a controlled manner. We have a contoured, or not contoured, but a textured cheek piece. This is really kind of interesting. Their previous cheek pieces on the skeleton stock was a smooth design. This is a little bit more of a contoured design. We'll have to see how that feels when we get out in the field and start shooting it. You have a matching contour on the forend, and it's this kind of a wide palm shelf. We have a textured front edge to the mag well here, and that should be good for driving into a barricade. We should be able to get a good bite on 2x4 barricades with that. So that will be really interesting to see. We've got a pretty generous recoil lug area in here, so it should be able to accept nice wide recoil lugs. And it looks like we have a really generous trigger inlet as well. So shouldn't have any problems with the vast majority of triggers out there. Overall, it looks to be a really solid system. It's hard to tell how it's going to balance out until we actually get it assembled. As I mentioned, I just saw it while I'm sitting here talking to you. These are M-LOK compatible. It has the little M-LOK symbol on the side. So that's nice to see versus some of the previous chassis systems that required proprietary rails, or you had to use the Magpul screw-in rails. It's nice to see that these are M-LOK, and M-LOK, there's just a ton of accessories out there available for it now. So if you chose to put a M-LOK polymer rail up here to try to save a little bit more weight, you can. The bottom though is not M-LOK. The bottom has just regular threaded screw points on the lightweight version. Now when we switch over here to the 2 other forend versions, these do have M-LOK on the bottom. So if you choose to remove the sling swivel stud and run a M-LOK rail to be able to mount a rail equipped bipod on there, you can do that. And now they also have a QD flush cup up here at the front, and we do have a QD back here in the rear. So that's really nice to see that it already comes set up for your QD sling. Now on the full length rail system here, looking at it, I am going to guess that this is a 20 MOA rail, just looking at the cant. the angle of the rail on the tube. So with this setup, we will have a, see if I can set it in here so you can kind of visualize it. It's difficult because I've got bolts that are in the bottom here, so it's not going to fit flush. But this will come back over your receiver, and so on a Remington 700, you're going to have a nice, not necessarily a monolithic rail, but a nice continuous 20 MOA rail. So that's really nice to see. I'm trying not to scratch up the Cerakote on here, juggling the stuff around. And MDT looks to have done a really good job on the design on the scope base. It's got a nice integral lug here with some clearance on the edge there. So this ought to be able to bolt down onto your receiver and give you a good deal of support. I like to see those recoil lugs on scope bases because we start getting into these really big, heavy, high power scopes or high magnification scopes. When the rifle recoils, you get a pretty good hit on that. And you start to get little tolerance stacking in there, a little bit of clearance for this screw hole, a little bit of clearance for that screw hole, and things can move around. So when you have that kind of rail there, or that kind of lug, it's going to butt solidly against that lug, and you're not going to worry about things moving around a whole lot. So overall, what I'm looking at here, it's nice that you have this option. If you are running a Remington 700 or a Remington 700 clone receiver that has the same diameter and same top dimensions as a regular Remington 700 receiver. And then you have this guy here. So if you wanted to run a receiver, one of the aftermarket clones that has its own top rail, you could do so with this kind of setup and not have to worry about interference between the rails, but still have the option to run a night vision, clip-on night vision system if you want. Or of course you can go to this guy if you want to go the lightest out of them. Now looking at this, if you wanted to run this like LSS in a super compact or super lightweight system, I'm not seeing any reason to believe right off the bat that you have to run any forend at all. So looks like you could run this without a forend and just run it slick. So overall, again, looks like a really great system. And they sent the rail to work with the 20 MOA tube, and it looks like they have also sent us out one of their regular black 20 MOA. I believe it's a 20 MOA. It looks like it, but one of the regular black scope bases, and again, the standard scope base still has a recoil lug on it. So overall, we're looking at a really nice system here. It comes in at a really competitive price point. So I will really look forward to getting this on a rifle, and once we get back from shot, getting it out and getting some use with it, and actually coming back and giving you guys a real review. So that is your first look at the Modular Driven Technologies ESS chassis. Hopefully we'll be able to get this guy to the range really soon and get some trigger time with it, and get you some feedback on how well it works with their polymer magazines, and of course how well it works with standard AICS magazines. And we'll try a variety of different magazines with it when we get it out, so we can report back to you what works and what doesn't work. So that's it for the first look in the MDT ESS chassis. If you guys have questions about this chassis, please leave it in the comments section below and we will try to get to them. Look forward to us stopping by the MDT booth, and we'll actually talk to the guys at Modular Driven Technologies at SHOT and talk to them about some of the different design features on the stock. But again, wanted to give you guys a really close look at the chassis system before we get out on the show floor. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or send them to us on Facebook or Twitter. If you like the video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, get out and shoot.